springs. Bounce yourself along all of them in order to get up here, and then ride this across, balancing yourself to get to the next platform. Be sure to wait for the 2 balloons to go all the way to the top before jumping over the gaps. You can also use your gun to take out enemies from afar, but every time you shoot it, you get a little bit of recoil, so be very careful. When we get to the end though, it's time to battle the enemy that we are. So use the gun and jump over the bullets as he fires them out in order to take him out from a distance, then ride across to the end to complete the stage. However, we still have one more level as him, as we have another one of these moving platform levels that you have to memorize the path. Like I mentioned before, these levels are completely reliant on yourself memorizing the paths that it's correct to take in order to get past it. After the level is complete, we now have to take more pictures of the next mobster that we get to become. There isn't really any strategy to go by in these levels, so there really isn't too much to say. As long as you're able to take a few pictures, you'll be able to complete it and move on to the next level. Sometimes while playing, I'll take 1 or 2 pictures and then sit the controller down for a few seconds and just wait for the timer to run out. Smiley, the mobster that we get to play as now, actually has the best jumping ability throughout the game. This jumping ability will allow you to almost bypass the entire level and be able to jump over all the perils that get in your way. Throughout the stage that you get to play as this mobster, you should be able to jump over all the enemies that you normally would have to face. He also has some pretty fast speed, so it only takes a few seconds to get through some of his levels. Still, you have to take your time just a little bit to watch out for some of the projectiles that the enemies shoot out at you, as well as some of the other projectiles that are in the stage, such as the rockets. In the third stage, be very careful at the beginning to watch out for the spikes that come out of the ground at you. When you get to the end of the level though, it's time to deal with Smiley himself. Now this battle is very similar to the other ones, as we just have a kick ability, so just get your kick timing down, hit him a few times, back away, and then get the timing down again in order to inflict enough damage in order to take him out. As you can see though, with the timing, sometimes he's able to get in a hit of his own. If this happens, back up a couple of steps and then try to get the timing back again. If you try to get it back going while you're still standing there, he's probably just going to end up being able to hit you more than you're able to hit him. Next up is another helicopter level where we have to hang down from the rope, collect items, and watch out for the perils of trucks, birds, and motorcycles. This level is longer and a bit harder than the first one, but if you're able to get past that, you should be able to get past this one with a little bit of practice. As you can see, hanging out by the top of the screen works for the most part, and you only have to go down a few times to dodge a couple of birds. Next up is another one of the camera levels. This one's the fourth and final camera level, as we actually now take pictures of Durant, the mob leader. Nothing else has changed, so it's still the same background and same other enemies that are going to be coming at you. So just try to take a few pictures and then wait for the timer to run out. Now that we have pictures of Durant and can actually disguise ourselves as him, it's time to go through the last couple of levels and take him out ourselves. We start off with a moving platform level. This one's the hardest so far, as you actually have to collect fuel cans along the path in order to keep speeding through. Like I said in the other ones, it comes down to pure memorization in order to figure out the right paths to take to get through the level. Level 2 is a typical level, as we have a few things to deal with, including some cannons that shoot some projectiles straight up. So while climbing along, wait for one projectile to go away before trying to go over the cannon. If any of those projectiles do hit you though, it's an instant death, so you gotta be very careful. In this area we have some platform jumps to make it over in order to get past the large gap. So be very careful with the momentum so that you don't end up overshooting or undershooting those jumps. The third level, as Durant, is another one of those moving platform levels, so once again, memorization is going to be key, so that you're able to get all the fuel tanks that you need in order to get up and be able to complete this stage. This is the hardest one yet, but thankfully this is also the last one that we have to deal with in the game. Level 22 is next, and level 22 is the final stage of the game. Start off by climbing over the two cannons, being sure to dodge out for projectiles, then climb up here and take out the two enemies. Durant thankfully has a gun, and there's no recoil to deal with while using it. Be very careful to get over these platforms as they fall down quickly once you land on them. If you're lucky, you can take out that enemy from behind as he's walking away from you. Then get over, bounce off the spring, and take out another one of the construction workers before we jump to the moving platform. Now this is where things are going to get really tricky because we're nearing the final boss. Okay, for this, I jump over from the moving platform and land on the one that falls down just very briefly for only a half a second or so, and then jump back to the previous platform. This way, I move up and down very slowly, and this gives me plenty of time to shoot out projectiles at Durant himself. He takes a good amount of shots to take out, but this way you are safe from having to deal with him right close up and getting knocked off the platform. Try to do your best to dodge some of the projectiles by doing a quick jump to jump over a few of them. As long as you have a good amount of health coming into this area, you should be able to complete him and beat him. However, once he's taken care of though, you still have to make it over to his platform to complete the stage. So if you accidentally cause the platform next to this one to fall down too far, you may be out of luck and have to redo the stage. So be very careful, make your jump at the correct timing, or do a super jump from the moving up and down platform in order to get past and complete the game. Darkman is actually a pretty fun platformer. If you can get past some of the flaws of the controls and momentum, it actually ends up being a pretty fun game. The graphics are very nice to look at, and the music, like many Ocean games, is very stellar as well. And as the credits have been finished up putting into the computer, that's going to wrap up this edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.